certainly be a huge boost if these teams are to advance to the championship pool. We run down the lineups for both these teams. Team Newfoundland Labrador, they hail from the Carroll Curling Club in Labrador City. The lead is Cheryl Ryan. The second is Mike Ryan. The vice skip is Marcy Brown, and the skip is Keith Ryan. And we'll run down those familiarizations as the game goes on. They have an 0-3 record. Lost their opener against Manitoba 11-4, then dropped a 10-2 decision to British Columbia, and then lost to Alberta 7-3. So 3 tough teams to open up the round robin for Newfoundland Labrador. Team New Brunswick from the Thistle St. Andrews Club in St. John. The lead is Carol Webb. The second is Josh Vaughn. The vice skip is Leah Thompson, and the skip is Charlie Sullivan. And it is New Brunswick with last rock in this first end as we get underway in draw 8. Another look at sheet D today. Again, we've noticed that lots of curl from the outside in, but we did notice in the last game that, as we've said all along, if the skip puts the broom in the right place, you can bury behind corner guards as well. So be interesting to see how these teams handle the conditions. Very, very fast, very, very swingy, particularly from the outside in, but any shot is on the table, and that shot's going to jump just a little bit light, as the call was for the come around. We'll see how Newfoundland Labrador responds. Keith Ryan, veteran skip for Newfoundland Labrador. It is his wife, Cheryl, and his brother, Mike, who are his teammates. Mike playing second, Cheryl at lead. As noted, Marcy Brown is the vice skip. And as you look on a map, Labrador City, that's not the easiest place to get to. So they certainly had some geographic challenges to win their provincial championship, and obviously to get here for the Canadian mix. But great curling city. That Carroll Club has been active for a number of years now, and a lot of people say good things about the curling atmosphere and the curling club in Labrador City. So another shot that comes up a little bit light. Now we'll see if New Brunswick can take advantage. As Carol Webb will throw a clockwise rotation draw. It just comes up a little bit short of the rings, but that'll be usable. So a little bit of a wall in front of that forefoot. It's just a matter of who can find draw weight and get around it. Or even, as we see here, Keith Ryan looks like he will call for the tap from his brother. The raise was the call. It's looking pretty good. Oh, that's a very nice shot by Mike Ryan. Josh Vaughn is the youngster on this team, just 23 years old. He's played for New Brunswick at the Canadian Under-21 Championships. Trying to play at the run back takeout. There's the run back and the takeout. Very nice shot by Josh Vaughn. Now we'll see what Mike Ryan can do in response. Mike is 59. He's a project coordinator for North Star Associates. big-time soccer family. His sons have participated in soccer camps in Europe. One with the Glasgow Rangers, and the other son had a run with Real Madrid in the Spanish national facility. So, very athletic family. Now a chance for Josh Vaughn to get behind. That hole was opened up by Newfoundland Labrador just now. See if Carol Webb can make it curl a little. There it goes. We'll get a little rub. Will not. But there you can see that finish. Maybe sliding a little deep, but certainly well protected. But a chance for Newfoundland Labrador. Marcy Brown will be asked to see if she can draw one in on top of that stone that was just delivered by New Brunswick. Looking good here. Is he going to get by that guard? Oh, it'll just tick. A little light there. So it is New Brunswick with Shot Rock. Now a chance for them to play a raise. Leah Thompson. Just a couple left-handers that we've seen so far. Few and far between at the Canadian mix this year. So this is her out turn, clockwise rotation, playing the raise. Josh Vaughn on the inside of that rock, trying to keep it straight. This looks good. Just a little heavy, we'll see. Does slide into the back of the house, but still does leave New Brunswick sitting two. Both of them are guarded. So we'll see a third attempt at a raise in this end. Marcy Brown. Big opportunity here for Newfoundland. If they can put this into shot position, not too many options available for New Brunswick to get it out. Unless it bounces right into the open, which it did. So there is a port available for New Brunswick, for Leah Thompson. Sitting two with the hammer. Leah and Charlie played together at the Canadian Mixed Doubles Championship last spring in Sudbury, Ontario. The hit and a roll. Will it hang in the rings? Keith Ryan working on it, but it will stay in, back 12, but there is a port now available for Keith Ryan to make the draw and see if he can get one buried on top of that New Brunswick stone. Keith has played in a couple Briers, skipped in 2001, that Brier in Ottawa, and then was playing second for Brad Gujou in 2005, and that was in Edmonton. So he's had a good run with Briers in the past. And like I said, a one-time teammate of Brad Gujou. Trying to get it in there. It's curling in nice. And it'll freeze up nicely into that button area. Little over curl, but still, it is shot. And Charlie Sullivan now essentially follow it down the same path. Buttonhole is still available. Charlie, too, has got some Purple Hearts of his own. I believe he's got 5 of them. Of course, former World Junior Champion, 1988. Skipped Canada, or played 3rd for his late brother Jim. And they won the Canadian Juniors in 1987, and the year later went to Fusen, West Germany, and won the World Junior Championship. Beat a guy named Pea Lindholm in the gold medal game in 1988. That was a World Juniors that also featured the late Thomas Ulsrud, skipping Norway. That might be a little bit heavy. Keith Ryan's there ready to sweep and take it back, and it does leave Newfoundland Labrador shot and buried. Now another chance to get one in there. Keith Ryan, you want to talk about athletes. Ran the 2017 Boston Marathon, competed in the 2017 Masters World Cup Cross Country Ski Championships in Klosters, Switzerland. Member of the 2008 Newfoundland and Labrador Senior Men's Soccer Championship team. And yeah, he's a pretty good curler. So here's the draw. Made this on his first one. Let's see if he can do it again. His brother is trying to get that to curl a little more. Certainly got by the guard with room to spare. Now they want this to stop in front of the button. Not bad, but definitely a chance, I think, for Charlie Sullivan to get his 1, but that's still a nice end from Newfoundland Labrador to force New Brunswick to 1 here in the first. Charlie Sullivan, last rock. Should know this path by now. Josh Vaughn, Carol Webb in control of the rock now. They get it by the guard. And will it move that shot stone enough? It will indeed. So it is a single point for New Brunswick. And it'll be Newfoundland and Labrador that will have the hammer when we come back for the second end after this.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Here is what cowboy dreams are made of. Strong, calloused hands, open skies, the smell of leather and horses and sagebrush. It's getting off the road to explore, a chance to have a real Western experience. Hats, boots, and hard work. It's finding peace while connecting to the land and with those on the same adventure. Pull up a seat or get in the saddle in our living skies and Badlands, Saskatchewan.
welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club, site of the I was thinking about the 1993. It was the site of the 1993 Canadian Mixed Championship, but it is in fact also the site of this year's Canadian Mixed Championship, the 2023 edition, here in Swift Current. And tonight's feature game, it is Newfoundland and Labrador's team Keith Ryan from Labrador City taking on New Brunswick's team Charlie Sullivan from St. John. And it was single point for New Brunswick in the first end, so Newfoundland Labrador will have the hammer playing two. Carol Webb, by the way, she's a management system specialist for Irving Equipment. And shout out to Irving Equipment for sponsoring Team Charlie Sullivan and helping them offset their travel costs here to Swift Current. Center guard is high and not quite center, but it'll work. But it is open and lets that shot stone be available for a hit attempt. My Newfoundland Labrador lead Cheryl Ryan. Cheryl's a process engineer for Rio Tinto. She's an operations center superintendent for Rio Tinto. Used to be a process engineer. See if that makes contact. Slides in to the rings. And completely buried too. Nice shot. Decision time now for Charlie Sullivan. Does he want to play to it? Does he want to play the angle raise? Looks like they're going to play the draw, and he wonders which turn Josh Vaughn wants to play. He's asked for his in-turn, which clockwise rotation. Working hard to get it by this high guard. Oh, just wrecks. But not a bad bonus there as it goes over to the center line and does protect their own stone that is at the top of the 8-foot. I think that rock is a biter too, so Newfoundland Labrador is going to have to be careful about this. They do have shot stone. The call was to lock one onto that New Brunswick stone in the top 8. This is going to have to curl, though. Might get a little cheeky rub. They do. To the back of the button. So not the shot they called, but it worked out okay. Double takeout is available, though, so that'll be the call for Josh Vaughn. Hit, roll over. Pretty good shot. Doesn't make the double, but it's in a good position. Newfoundland Labrador still shot. Call is for the freeze here for Mike Ryan. Pretty good outcome. Certainly something that's going to make New Brunswick think about what their next shot is. Looks like the hit is the call. New Brunswick, by the way, looking for their third Canadian Mixed Championship. Both previous championships were won by Otashaw's Grant in 1994 and his brother Terry in 2007. Thompson with the hit attempt. Makes the hit, but it's going to roll out to the wings. Still, New Brunswick does have 3 stones in play, but it is Newfoundland Labrador with shot rock. Newfoundland Labrador, meanwhile, has only won once at the Canadian Mix, 2005. And that took place a few hours north of here in Prince Albert. And it was won by none other than Mark Nichols with his wife Shelley Nichols at third. The only time Newfoundland Labrador has won at the Canadian Mixed Championship. Marcy Brown's shot. Trying to see if they can get past that yellow stone in the top 8. Just going to rub off. Pretty good outcome, though. It's going to be tricky to move for New Brunswick. You can see Charlie Sullivan wondering, how does he deal with that? Newfoundland Labrador sitting shot stone right now. Charlie Sullivan thinking about the short tap. Looks like he'll call for a little bit of weight at that. Raise takeout to sit 2. Got to stay on that high side. Makes the raise takeout. Doesn't hold the shooter, so it still does leave New Brunswick sitting shot rock, though. chance to draw into sit 2 now. Ryan looking to get behind that center guard. It does overcurl and get to the back 8-foot. So it is Newfoundland Labrador sitting a couple. And Charlie Sullivan will have to play some kind of bailout shot here. Does have a chance at the double takeout. Just that it needs to hit it on the high side, on the broom side, about half a rock to 2/3 of that rock. Should make the double. The added bonus that it would force Newfoundland to take one. He's got to make the double first. Shot's on its way. Looking close. Now it looks like they're actually going to play the hit and roll. And what a great shot, Charlie Sullivan. That might have been the call all the way for the hit and roll, and it's just a wonderfully executed shot. It's high enough, though, that guard, that it might be accessible for Keith Ryan on his last shot to get a deuce. Big shot here, big opportunity for Newfoundland Labrador to get that deuce. Gonna have to throw this well. It is behind a guard, but it's a high enough guard that with just through the ring's weight, it should curl enough. Starting to curl now. Gets by that guard, it should be golden. Just gets by the guard. Now does it have enough weight? What a great shot. Keith Ryan gets the deuce. Wonderful piece of shot making by the Newfoundland Labrador skip. So it is a deuce on the board for Newfoundland Labrador. They take a 2-1 lead into the third end when we return after this.
I've been raised on the farm since day one, so I was born into it. My grandfather came in here in 1905. I want to continue.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You can throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club, and no doubt Newfoundland Labrador, they'll be feeling pretty good about themselves after a well-crafted deuce and a great finish by Keith Ryan to get that 2 on the board against New Brunswick. As we head into the third end of tonight's game, this Battle of Atlantic Canada. As we said off the top of the broadcast, you got to think this is must-win territory for both teams. 14 teams playing at the Canadian Mixed Curling Championship, 2 pools of 7. They all play a round-robin game against each other in their respective pools. Top 4 teams in each pool will then move on to the championship pool, and they'll carry their records with them. Remember that. That's a key element of this format. They carry their records with them. Then the 4 teams from Pool A will play the 4 teams from Pool B. And from there, the 4 best records will then go to the semifinals. And of course, the winners play for gold. The losers will play for bronze on Saturday here at the Swift Current Curling Club. And of course, you can see all the action, all of the action. All 4 sheets are being streamed live here on Curling Canada Plus. Thanks to our great production team at Curling Stadium, bringing you all the action from the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. So these teams certainly have figured out draw weight. Nice draw is being played here. Even that's not a terrible shot there for Newfoundland Labrador in terms of trying to get a steal. It's lined up pretty good. Carol Webb will just be asked to draw over to the open side. Carol Webb, by the way, she played at the 2001 Canadian Under-21 Championships with Team New Brunswick. But after that event was done, she was asked by Suzanne Goody, now Suzanne Burt, to join the winning PEI team that won the Canadian Under-21 Championship. They wanted Carol to accompany them as their alternate at the 2001 World Juniors in Ogden, Utah. That was the test event for the 2002 Olympics. And of course, that team did win the World Junior Championship that year. And as a result, she was a member of that Suzanne Burt skip team that was inducted earlier this year into the Prince Edward Island Curling Hall of Fame. So nice achievement there for Carol Webb. Still trying to draw to that open side. That rock's got to slow down in an awful hurry. Keith Ryan will accompany it to the back of the house. So now it looks like they will take on that double run back that we were talking about. Seems to be lined up pretty nice. Mike Ryan taking it on. Looks pretty good. Well, it does open things up a little bit more for Newfoundland Labrador, but it still is New Brunswick sitting shot rock, top 4. Now, instead of going to the open side, he's going to ask Jason Vaughn to draw one in behind that center guard. Pardon me, Josh Vaughn, not Jason. Leah Thompson and Carol Webb working hard to drag this in. She's going to get by that guard. It will. And it'll finish very nicely in the top 12. That'll be Marcy Brown asked to play the run back. Trying to remove a couple of those, at least one of those yellow stones from the top of the house. Just scoots past the 2 yellow stones. So New Brunswick sitting 2 with last rock. Charlie will ask for a short center guard from Leah Thompson. Just got to be careful where this rock ends up. You don't want to line everything up for Newfoundland Labrador. Want to have a little bit of an angle, but that looks like it is pretty nicely lined up to make at least 2 Yellowstones go away, if not 3 if you hit it on that center line side with any kind of weight. We do know these the rocks are lively, the rings are lively, so it doesn't take an awful lot to get rocks to move. Certainly got to hit it on the center line side. See if that one gets off the rings. Charlie, you see sweeping that with the idea that it would spin back in, and it did exactly that. So just one removed rock, but it still leaves New Brunswick sitting 2, and probably in a better position than they were before. Certainly the rings are split. Now I think the call will be to try and get one behind, buried behind those red corner guards, double guards. 3 is very much in play for New Brunswick. Now they're going to try and go around their own stone. That actually works out pretty good. It's tough to get the nose of that New Brunswick stone that's just outside the 4 foot at the top of the house. Not too many great options available here for Newfoundland Labrador. They're just going to try and remove that stone and see if they can roll somewhere that's useful later in the end. But there's not too much later left in this end. This is Keith Ryan's first rock of this third end, pardon me. Reminder that the winning team here at the 2023 Canadian Mixed will wear the maple leaf at the 2024 World Mixed Championship in Aberdeen, Scotland, and have a chance to extend Canada's medal streak at that event to 5 years. Includes 3 gold medals and a bronze. Looking to see if they can keep that rock in play. Charlie Sullivan is there ready to sweep it out, so the chance to sit 3 for New Brunswick. Charlie is a 2-time medalist at the Brier. We talked about that silver medal he won in 1990 at the Sioux. 7 years later, he was playing with another New Brunswick team that was skipped by a Brier rookie named James Grattan. Everybody, I remember, called him Jimmy the Kid at that 1997 Brier in the Saddle Dome in Calgary. And I have a vivid memory of that Brier being a reporter at the time, and James Grattan, not looking like he had a care in the world. They were playing some maritime music in the stands, and he started dancing, and Charlie kind of looked at him and said, "What is this kid doing?" and just kind of walked away. Didn't want to have anything to do with the dance that James was doing. But James didn't have a care in the world. He was playing at the Brier in front of 18,000 people. That New Brunswick team did win the bronze medal. They beat Ed Werenick in the 3-4 game and then lost to Manitoba's Vic Peters in the semifinal. Nice draw there by Charlie Sullivan. So now, Keith Ryan. It's not a good situation at all for Newfoundland Labrador. Not too many ways that he can avoid giving up 3, honestly. There is a double available there. Thin double over there, maybe the run back double, but none of them are easy. You can't see very much of that stone that he's got his broom on from the hack. But he hits all that he can see. He'll probably get a roll over on top. But that's a very precise shot. That's another option, the hit and roll of that one behind the red guards, but as Mike Harris and Joan McCusker like to say on the Grand Slam broadcast, it's good to be yellow right now. So it looks like they're going to take that one on. They can only see about 2/3 of the stone and really just have to hit just about all that they can see of it and get the roll over. And this is another one of those scenarios where you got to know how to miss. You do not want to miss this wide because obviously wide's going to be a flash, and that would be a draw for 4. If you're going to miss anyway, you want to miss it tight and at least remove one of those yellow stones. Big weight. It's certainly going to touch that top one. Now maybe he gets a tricky roll off of that though. No, it's going to roll over the top. And it will be a draw for 3, just touch paint for Charlie Sullivan. So that's a good answer back after giving up the deuce the last end. Final shot here in the third end. Charles Sullivan has all the rings to draw to get a 3. Is this going to stop in time? It will not. It will not. And that's an opportunity given away by New Brunswick, but it still is a deuce. And they will go up 3-2, and it'll be Newfoundland Labrador with the hammer when we come back for the fourth end after this.
We're for agriculture, for growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. and all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to Swift Current as we head into the fourth end of this Atlantic Canada battle between New Brunswick, Newfoundland Labrador, and New Brunswick. Had a draw for 3 in that third end, but Charlie Sullivan a little heavy on that draw, so they settled for 2. Newfoundland Labrador, a little bit of an escape route there, and they will take the hammer down by just 1 into the fourth end. That rock slips in, so it will be Carol Webb taking a run at it. With the nose hit. Reminder that we'll be back on the air with 3 more draws tomorrow from the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. Those draws will be shown right here on Curling Canada Plus, all 4 sheets being live streamed in conjunction with our partners at Curling Stadium. Draw times tomorrow, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. Those are all Central. 11 a.m., 3 p.m., 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All 4 sheets in play here tonight at the Swift Current Curling Club as we start looking towards the end of the preliminary round of round-robin play. We'll be setting up the championship pools at the completion of play tomorrow night. We'll have the championship pool set up as well as the seeding pool. The 3 teams in each pool that don't go to the championship pool, they'll go into the seeding pool. They'll play the 3 teams from the other pool, and that will decide the final standings in the 2023 Canadian Mixed. And those final standings are what will set up the round-robin pools for the 2024 Canadian Mixed Championship. And I can tell you I know where they are. We're just not ready to announce it yet, but look for an announcement on that in the next few weeks. Curling Canada will be making that site announcement very, very soon. And you will like it. I guarantee it. So a bit of an open end here in the fourth end. I mean, nothing but open hits, it looks like, for the time being. Josh Vaughn. Mike also has a Purple Heart, by the way. He played in the 2001 Brier in Ottawa. Take a look at the other scores here tonight. As you see, a big score of 6 in the third end for Team Ontario as they take a 7-1 lead on PEI. 6-enders are exceedingly rare. Alberta, meanwhile, up 4-0 on Nunavut. But as you look to your right, I say they're exceedingly rare, except it's happened twice tonight. Nova Scotia with a 6-ender in the first end, and they are currently up 8-0 on Yukon. So a little bit of offense out there tonight. Our game, though, it's a 3-2 lead in an open house. Looks like these teams will be hitting it out before getting to the fourth end break. Marcy's got some championship experience for Newfoundland Labrador. Played in the under-21s as a skip, in the Scotties as a vice skip. She's been there as an alternate as well, and this is her 4th time to the Canadian Mixed Championship playing vice skip. Had the pleasure of curling with the likes of Sue-Ann Bartlett and Heather Strong, that certainly some of the best-known names in Newfoundland Labrador women's curling history. That rock hangs on at the back, so Leah's going to take a hit at it. She's a teacher at Princess Elizabeth School in St. John. She's 32 years old. That'll get the job done. Just talking about that championship pool setup, by the way, as you mentioned, top 4 from each pool will move along, carry their records with them. If there's ties for that 4th and final spot, there will be no tiebreakers played. It'll all come down to the traditional ways of breaking ties. Head-to-head result first, and if there are multiple teams tied for the spot and their head-to-head records against each other are identical, then it'll come down to that cumulative last shot draw distance. That's why that pregame draw is so important. Is that going to hang on the rings? See if Charlie can drag it out. Just hangs on. So Charlie, after a big scrub there, now he's got to settle the nerves and get back down to the other end. Charlie's no stranger to this sort of stuff. You know, Charlie, obviously people know him for his curling accomplishments, but back home in St. John, he's equally well known as a swimming coach. He's the high school swim coach at St. John High School. And teams and swimmers that he's coached over the years since 1991 have won something like 35, 36 provincial championships. So very well known in the pool as he is on the ice. Working hard to keep this one on line. And it will roll out. I gotta say, I don't think I've seen this kind of an open end at all during this 2023 Canadian Mix. It's been a bit of a rarity. That first rock that slid into the rings, and either skip decided it was time to take a risk with the guard, and it's been nothing but hits since then. Keith Ryan will draw one into the rings, looking for a tricky spot that might make Charlie Sullivan's blank attempt trick harder. But of course, that would be only if Charlie Sullivan had last rock, wouldn't it? Of course, Keith Ryan has last rock, so he's looking for a spot here that maybe make Charlie Sullivan's hit attempt a little tricky, but it is Newfoundland Labrador with last rock here in the 4th end. So that'll nestle into the 8 foot. The open hit and stick. And now the blank attempt will come from Keith Ryan, looking to carry Last Rock advantage into the fifth end. Last shot on its way from Keith Ryan, looking to make the hit and roll out. His brother's trying to keep it on line. They don't want this to stay in the rings. It will stay in the rings. So it is a score of 1 for Newfoundland Labrador. It'll be a tie game after 4 ends. The teams will take their 4th end break. We will too. We'll be back in a few minutes here at the Swift Current Curling Club for the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship.
Something new and interesting is always just down the highway here. Find hidden gems grown from the ground up. Hidden gems that can surprise you at every turn. Get a taste for the beauty that thrives in a place where we are given space to grow. Get curious in our prairie life and city lights. Saskatchewan.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year. With Sask Lotteries, everyone wins.
The Men of Curling calendar is more than a date provider. Each edition is packed with beautiful images and tons of curling information too. Support curlers and charity by buying yours today at curlingcares.com.
Swift Current is great because everybody that we do business with, we know on some sort of personal level.
What I love about Swift Current is the vibrant arts and culture community.
I really like Swift Current. We are not a big city, but the size of the city is really good and we have everything.
Swift Current is a great sports town, great teams and great fans.
People say, good morning, hi, how are you, even though we don't know each other.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club as we head into the second half of tonight's feature game between Newfoundland Labrador and New Brunswick. It's a tie game through 4 ends between Newfoundland Labrador's Team Keith Ryan from Labrador City and Team New Brunswick, Team Charlie Sullivan from St. John. I'm Al Cameron from Curling Canada, bringing you the action tonight here on Curling Canada Plus, with great production from our friends at Curling Stadium. This should be already a little more entertaining than that fourth end, which was wide open, nothing but hits, and ended with a little bit of a miss there from Keith Ryan. He had the blank attempt, but nose hit and had to take the one. So it is New Brunswick that will have hammer here in this fifth end. Center guard is up. Carol Webb will be asked to go around it and start building something for New Brunswick. Brunswick did get that deuce in the third end. Should have been 3. But Charlie Sullivan had a draw, just needed to touch paint, but was a little bit heavy. Went through the house, so settled for 2. That's got us into this tie game. Keith Ryan made a wonderful shot with his last shot in the second end. Really tricky hit that had to just hair by a guard. But he made it perfectly, and it was a deuce for Newfoundland Labrador. So that's the story of the game so far. Mentioned earlier today, this 2023 Canadian Mixed Championship, one of 3 Canadian curling championships that are being decided in the province of Saskatchewan this season. March 22nd to 29th in Moose Jaw, the Canadian Wheelchair Championship will be played. That's the second straight year Moose Jaw has hosted that Canadian Wheelchair Championship. Moose Gibson and his team at the Moose Jaw Curling Center do an outstanding job hosting country's best wheelchair curling teams, and I know they are looking forward to going back to Moose Jaw in March. Should be a great event. And of course, the event that a lot of eyes in Saskatchewan are on, the Montana's Brier, March 1st to 10th at the Brandt Center in Regina. Ticket sales have been superb for that Montana's Brier. There will be a new ticket offer announced early next week, where single draw tickets for the playoffs will go for sale. So keep checking on the Montana's Brier website to get further details when they become available, or sign up on the Curling Canada Collective. You'll get notified of these ticket offers as they happen, as well as volunteer opportunities. They're still looking for volunteers for that 2024 Montana's Brier. Curling.ca, where you can sign up for the Curling Canada Collective to get notifications of ticket offers as well as volunteer opportunities. So it is New Brunswick sitting a couple. The 2 long center guards are the 2 center guards that are in place from Newfoundland Labrador. Will this get by? No, it's going to wreck on that top guard. Might actually put it in the rings. Will it get through? Yeah, it should. Charlie Sullivan's going to sweep that out of play. Next chance to watch curling on Curling Canada Plus will be at the Everest Canadian Curling Club Championships, which begin a week from Sunday at the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg. There will be streaming action of those club championships right here on Curling Canada Plus. Then in early December, we'll be back on Curling Canada Plus with the Everest Canadian Seniors Championships from the Vernon Curling Club. And I know Vernon Club manager Dave Merklinger, a lot of you will know Dave, is really working hard to make that a big show at the Vernon Curling Club, as the top senior teams in the country will be heading to BC's Okanagan Valley. I'm no expert, but I suspect there will be a glass of wine or 2 available at the Vernon Curling Club. So New Brunswick now applying a little more pressure. They do have last rock here in the 5th end. A little split there. I'm not sure if that was the call, but it worked out pretty nice. So Mike Ryan, that's Keith's brother, in the hack, and he's going to be asked to play a run-back takeout. Not too many other alternatives here. Got to stop that buildup of yellow in the rings. Looking pretty good. Nice shot. Very nice shot. Almost had the run double. Mike Ryan's looking a little unhappy with it, but pretty good result, actually. It leaves one rock buried, another rock in front of the rings. It's going to be usable. Josh Vaughn, the New Brunswick second. I think the split is the call on this one, or is it trying to get over onto that red stone? That's going to have to curl a lot, though. And it's going to be on his own. Actually, that worked out great. Good shot there. Josh Vaughn does remove the Newfoundland Labrador stone and leaves New Brunswick sitting 3 with hammer. Marcy Brown's going to be asked to play the takeout. Works as a municipal enforcement officer for the town of Labrador City. Going to get through that port. It does. And actually makes contact with 2 of those New Brunswick stones. Does remove one of them. And will sit third shot. Neither of these teams in any kind of time trouble. Both of them have, well, New Brunswick's got nearly 17 minutes on the clock, and Newfoundland Labrador's got nearly 16 minutes. Each of these teams gets 30 minutes of talk time, thinking time, and 2 90-second timeouts. There you see the time. Big thanks to our volunteer timekeepers and statisticians that are helping out this week at the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. Great group of volunteers here at the Swift Current Curling Club. So New Brunswick making a play on that Newfoundland Labrador stone, trying to get the roll over. Will it stay in the rings? It will jam on one of theirs and will remove it. So it's now New Brunswick sitting a couple. Possibility of a double here for Marcy Brown. She'd have to essentially hit in the crotch between the 2 of those rocks, see if she could hit them as close as possible simultaneously. Should be some interesting action on the shooter. She's throwing a bullet at it. Mike Ryan's trying to keep it straight. I want to let it curl a bit. Let's see. Does it get by that guard? It will tickle it, but it will remove one of the New Brunswick stones. So good sweeping there by Mike Ryan. Still New Brunswick with shot rock. But the good thing from Newfoundland Labrador's perspective is whenever they make the hit on their stones, there's always something available to potentially play a double. The roll really isn't available. I guess the other option would be for New Brunswick just to ignore that red stone and go somewhere else in the rings to sit 2. I think that's kind of the thought process of Charlie right now. but ultimately he will decide to make a play on it. And a good result, though, would be to hit on the outside of that red stone and swing back in and perhaps move the other New Brunswick stone a little further away and create a little separation. Just like that. Great sweeping call, great execution, great shot by Leah Thompson. Very nice. New Brunswick now sitting 2. Keith Ryan will look to see if he can get a hit and roll off of this and bury it behind that center guard. Try and take this deuce away from New Brunswick. Mike Ryan working hard. They're trying to just get a little inside roll on this. Might roll on top of the New Brunswick stone. Oh, what a roll by Mike Ryan. By Keith Ryan, pardon me. Great shot by the skipper there. And that's a good way to kill a deuce. You can see just about 10 centimeters of separation, but I don't know that New Brunswick can remove that red stone without losing the stone that it's on top of. Great roll there by Newfoundland Labrador. So instead of trying to remove it, looks like Charlie will try and draw one right on top of it. Mentioned that Montana's Brier coming up in Regina. Of course, before that, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts will take place at the Winsport Event Center in Calgary. Again, good ticket sales so far there. And then the Season of Champions will continue with the BKT Tires World Women's Championship out in Sydney, Nova Scotia. You can always get tickets for all of the Season of Champions events on curling.ca/tickets. That's curling.ca/tickets. Get your seats now to watch the world's best curling teams in action in the new year. This draw is underway. It's going to over curl. The freeze isn't there. They're just going to see if they can curl buried, but it is going to over curl right into the open. And yes, that is a hole that is available for Newfoundland Labrador. And maybe even the inside roll to sit 2. Looks like someone dropped something. Not quite sure what's down there. Big opportunity here for Keith Ryan. A hit and roll would certainly put the heat on Charlie Sullivan to score. Be tough to score. Full forefoot should be available, but it's not a draw you want to be looking at in the 5th end. Trying to keep this on line. I think it's going to be on the guard, though. It will. It does wreck. So an opportunity that gets away from Newfoundland Labrador. And now, a draw for 2 for New Brunswick. Bite the 4 will get it done. He has some backing there, biting the button. This is an important draw, I think, for New Brunswick. He had a draw earlier in that 3rd end. Remember that he threw heavy, would have given him 3. I think from a confidence perspective, a momentum perspective, this is a big draw for Charlie Sullivan. Sweepers are on it right away. Carol Webb, Josh Vaughn trying to drag this. Looks like it's going to be perfect. Very nice. And it will be a big, important deuce for New Brunswick. So after 5 ends, it is New Brunswick with a 5-3 lead over Newfoundland Labrador. We'll be right back after this.
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year. With Sask Lotteries, everyone wins.
Something new and interesting is always just down the highway here. Find hidden gems grown from the ground up. Hidden gems that can surprise you at every turn. Get a taste for the beauty that thrives in a place where we are given space to grow. Get curious in our prairie life and city lights. Saskatchewan.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
Here is what cowboy dreams are made of. Strong, calloused hands, open skies, the smell of leather and horses and sagebrush. It's getting off the road to explore, a chance to have a real Western experience. Hats, boots, and hard work. It's finding peace while connecting to the land and with those on the same adventure. Pull up a seat or get in the saddle in our living skies and Badlands. Saskatchewan.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club as the scores are being posted from the 5th end of this game between Ontario and Prince Edward Island. And as you see, Ontario has taken one to stretch their lead to 8-3 playing the 6th end. Sheet B, it is a 7-0 lead for Alberta over Nunavut. Team Evan Van Amsterdam from Edmonton over Team Peter Van Streen from Iqaluit in the Yukon. And Nova Scotia, Team Paul Fleming from Halifax on Skips Rocks there in the 6th end. They hold a 10-1 lead over Team Terry Miller of the Yukon. And in our sheet, it is a big 5-3 lead for New Brunswick after Charlie Sullivan makes a draw to the forefoot to score a deuce. And Newfoundland Labrador will have hammer in this 6th end. They've got a couple corner guards up there, a little on the wide side probably, but potentially usable. And it'll be New Brunswick getting in there to sit a couple. Mike Ryan, brother of Skip Keith Ryan, will be asked to play a hit and roll here. No, they were playing that for the nose, it looked like. It's going to be open. Now an open hit opportunity here for Josh Vaughn. Brunswick with a 1-2 record. And you'd think this is a must-win for them if they want to advance to that championship pool. Same can be said for Newfoundland Labrador. Their situation, though, a little more dire. They're winless in 3 games. And they're all 3 rocks go flying, and that's opens the door now for Newfoundland Labrador to utilize those corner guards and see if they can get one buried. Mike Ryan now. See how much curl he gets on this. Gets by that guard with plenty to spare, but it's definitely moving in the right direction. It is curling. That I think that's going to bury nicely. Oh yeah, very nice shot there by Mike Ryan. Perfect. So Leah Thompson's going to be asked to chase that. Carol Webb's going to try and see if she can get it to curl a little, but I don't think it's going to curl that much. And it will be a miss by Leah Thompson. So, do they go around the same one? Yes, they will. They feel they know that ice and they got a chance to bury another one behind that corner guard. We've got a first final score of the night. It is 10-1. A victory for Nova Scotia over the Yukon. So that will improve Nova Scotia's record to 4-1. Yukon drops to 1-4. Are they going to get this one on the rings? I think it's going to be a little light. Does it grab? It will not. It'll just come up short, but another guard. So another chance here. I think this time the call will be for a corner freeze, if not coming around. But is that going to be too heavy? Keith Ryan, give it a scrub. Now, the question is, who is shot rock? It looks like Newfoundland Labrador is still shot. They are. So at some point, did they ever decide to split the rings and go to the other corner guard? But gotten used to this path. Talking about the split, I'm not sure what that gets them, but especially with that Yellowstone sitting second shot, but I think that was maybe the backup plan. Draw up to that New Brunswick Stone's not a bad call either. That might be the primary thought, and if you're tight, well, then you split that onto the rings and you're sitting 3 stones in play. Trying to get it by that stone. Now they'll see if they can curl it, and it will. Nice shot. That removes the New Brunswick stone. So Charlie Sullivan. I think he'll play the hit and see if he can get a little inside flop maybe. Makes the hit. Again, another chance here for Newfoundland Labrador to sit 2. And the hit and stick is made. So Charlie Sullivan, we'll see if he can follow that up. Open hit, and if he can get the little inside roll, that might kill the deuce, but of course job number 1 is to make that stone go away. Trying to get that to curl, but it looks like it'll be right on the nose. And an open hit to score a couple here for Keith Ryan and Newfoundland Labrador. Final shot here in the 6th end. Trying to get this to curl a little. Should be okay though, I think. Charlie Sullivan's right there. Just going to get out of the rings. Oh, it just grinds to a halt just in time. So it will be a deuce to tie the game for Newfoundland Labrador. 5-5 tie. New Brunswick will have the hammer when we come back after this.
We're for agriculture, for growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
This is it. It all comes down to this rock. The hours in the gym, the weeks away from my family. This is what I've been training for. And all those voices trying to tear me down, I'm here to silence them. We've given everything we have for a chance to get everything we want.
The Men of Curling calendar is back for 2024. 18 curling athletes from 4 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Swift Current Curling Club as we head into the late stages of tonight's feature game between New Brunswick and Newfoundland Labrador. It's a 5-5 tie. Teams have traded deuces the last 2 ends. It will be New Brunswick with last rock here in the 7th. Team Charles Sullivan from the Thistle St. Andrews in St. John, New Brunswick. Host city of the 2014 World Women's Curling Championship. New Brunswick does get one into the rings, so this is Newfoundland Labrador lead. Cheryl Ryan, who will be asked to take that out. Cheryl is Keith's wife. Curling is what brought Cheryl and Keith together. She started curling in Labrador City, and she was dating Keith at the time. They decided to curl in the mixed provincials that winter, and Keith and Marcy Brown, the vice skip for Team Newfoundland Labrador, essentially taught Cheryl to curl. And here we are, so many years later, here at the Mixed Nationals in Swift Current. So play in front of the house here. Decision time now for Newfoundland Labrador. So does he go into the rings? He will. Interesting to see how this end plays out. New Brunswick does have last rock, but do they go hard for the deuce? Do they go hard for the blank and take the hammer into the 8th end of a tie game? Ryan is going to play the come around, that center, short center guard. Trying to keep this straight. Will it be on the guard? It's a little light, and it will just spill over. So I kind of feel like New Brunswick is in a position they want to get rid of those red stones, and yeah, that's the call. Josh Vaughn will be asked to remove those red stones. They're not on the rings, but they're certainly in the control zone for Newfoundland Labrador. Nicely executed. That wasn't an easy double, by the way, just because of how close those rocks were and the little separation between them. That was not an easy double, but it is made. Now there'll be the hit and roll call here for Newfoundland Labrador. Mike Ryan trying to get rid of that short New Brunswick stone and roll his shooter onto the rings. He's going to have to curl a bunch, though. And that will spill off the rings. Now, is Charles Sullivan, does he decide to force it? Get one behind that corner guard, or does he peel the corner guard and look to take hammer? And there it is, yes. He will peel it, his own guard, and look to take hammer into the 8th end by blanking out this end. A lot of rocks to come. We're only on second rocks, but you can kind of see how this is going to play out. He's peeling his own stone. But, certainly the call has been made to take the hammer into the 8th end. can tell you there is another final now. Alberta, Team Evan Van Amsterdam. They will improve to 4-1 as they record a 10-1 win over Nunavut. Team Peter Van Strien, which drops to 0-5, and Alberta takes a big step towards qualifying for the championship pool. Quick reminder, we'll be on the air with 3 games tomorrow here in Curling Canada Plus at the 2023 Canadian Mixed. Draw times are at 10 a.m. Central, 11 Eastern, 2 Central, 3 Eastern, and 6 Central, 7 Eastern. You can see all the action all the time on Curling Canada Plus. All 4 sheets being streamed live from the Swift Current Curling Club, thanks to our friends at Curling Stadium. And our featured games, always subject to change, but I don't see a reason why we would change them. Featured games tomorrow will start at 10 a.m. with the game between Saskatchewan and Ontario. 2 p.m. we'll feature the Yukon playing Prince Edward Island. And then at 6 p.m. it will be British Columbia against Manitoba. So now, that rock stays a little short of the rings, and looks like it's on the rings, but Newfoundland Labrador is going to try and force the hand of New Brunswick here, and they'll try and draw one around it. Marcy Brown. It's well out there. Mike Ryan working hard at it to see if he can get a little bit of curl. I'm trying to decide if that Yellowstone is on the rings. So that certainly does enter into the decision process here. I mean, I don't think New Brunswick would say no to a deuce in the 7th end. 2 up without hammer is not a terrible place to be. There's the open hit by Leah Thompson. I think they would have preferred that to roll away, because now this gives the chance for Keith Ryan to make a little hit and roll behind that short guard. And suddenly that blank becomes a lot tougher for New Brunswick. Trying to get the inside roll here. I think it's going to be nose, or maybe just move it a little outside. There it is. Now Charlie Sullivan. You can see he would like to roll to the outside and make that inside flop a little more tough for Keith Ryan on his last. Got to hold the shooter, though. That's the main thing, because you know exactly what Keith Ryan would try to do if they lose the shooter. He'll try and get around that guard and force Charlie to make a draw for 1. And that'd be a great outcome for Newfoundland Labrador. Will be a nose hit. Now, can Newfoundland Labrador get the inside roll? Final shot of this 7th end for Keith Ryan. They might have overswept this. They did. It will roll out to the side, and I'm going to assume that by where they're putting that broom, they're going for the blank attempt, and that yellow stone at the top, you can see white clearly between the stone and the 12-foot, but sometimes these overhead camera angles are not the purest, so... but I believe Charlie Sullivan is playing the blank attempt here and making the gamble, and his eyes are a lot closer to it than ours, that yellow stone at the top is not touching the 12-foot. He'll wait, and it will go off the ring, so... And she'll kick it off. So that tells you all you need to know. That rock was not on, and it is a blank, and it will be New Brunswick with last rock when we come back for the 8th end right after this.
We're for agriculture, for growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
Here is what cowboy dreams are made of. Strong, calloused hands, open skies, the smell of leather and horses and sagebrush. It's getting off the road to explore, a chance to have a real Western experience. Hats, boots, and hard work. It's finding peace while connecting to the land. And with
When you buy a lottery ticket in Saskatchewan, your money really goes a long way. More than 12,000 sport, culture, and recreation groups receive funding from Sask Lotteries every year. With Sask Lotteries, everyone wins.
Kelly Scott playing lead. Welcome back to the 2023 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. We head into the 8th end of a tie game. It's been a very entertaining game, lots of twists and turns, and only right that it's all tied up coming home. It will be New Brunswick with Hammer. Always interesting to see how the strategy plays out in this situation. Normally a team with Hammer is looking to score 2, but that's not necessary, obviously, for New Brunswick. They just need 1. So they've got one in the rings already, and Newfoundland Labrador will try and play center guard, but it is imperative that this stone stop in front of the house. And it's not looking promising. That is going to go well in. That's a crucial miss for Newfoundland Labrador. That's about 12 feet too heavy, and an easy decision to make for Charlie Sullivan, as he'll ask his lead, Carol Webb, to remove it. I don't think it's even that necessary that they hold the shooter either. I think they'd like this to roll out. Just like that. Good play, good throw by Carol Webb. So the broom will go down for another center guard call here for Newfoundland Labrador. Lead Cheryl Ryan. Needs to have this short of the rings to help Newfoundland Labrador generate that winning steal. That's a better spot. Nice throw there by Cheryl. Good recovery. And just as importantly, it is touching the center line, so it cannot be ticked either. Although it is out of the free guard zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, this is now second rocks. So it not only can be ticked, it can be peeled out. And that is the call for Josh Vaughn. Called and made successfully. Still is New Brunswick sitting 1. And now that rocks can be peeled, that makes Newfoundland Labrador's chances of producing a steal just that much tougher. So another guard being called here for Mike Ryan. He's the big brother, by the way, older by 4 years. And his brother, the Skip Keith. Never a bad idea just to kind of change the location of these center guards too. You'll see that with a lot of teams out there on the tours, that they will vary the location of these guards, especially when the no-tick zone isn't in effect anymore, and just change the throw for the peeling team, and also just to see if there's a jam possibility too. You see that yellow rock in the rings. If this rock were to go across the face, you do create that opportunity for a jam, and that'll be a nose hit. So a little glimmer here for Newfoundland Labrador. Keith Ryan will take advantage right away and ask his vice skip, Marcy Brown, to draw around that. It'll just finish behind the tee line and pretty well buried. Kind of one of those decisions here for New Brunswick. They will make a play at that red stone. A lot of teams might have just elected the peel, but worth chasing it here. It's a long guard, so it should certainly have the ability to curl enough to remove this for Leah Thompson. Now they go to work to try and get it by this guard. With room to spare. And that's a nice throw from Leah. To roll into the back of the forefoot. And now the chance for the freeze for Marcy Brown. That rock's got to curl a long way. Might get a little tickle off that one stone. Oh, too late to improv there. And it will go through the back. And yes, that is the only stone that really is of a concern to New Brunswick. They'll peel their own stone out, or try to anyways, with Leah Thompson. Very nice. That's even a better result. The less rocks in play, the better for New Brunswick. Another chance at the freeze here for Newfoundland Labrador. First shot of this 8th end for Keith Ryan. They're going to have to drag this a long ways. Ends up being a guard. I don't think there's too much of a decision to be made here for New Brunswick, as Charlie Sullivan will put that broom down. Old school backswing from Charlie Sullivan gets this rock on the way. And nicely executed. And really, the only option available to Newfoundland Labrador. They're going to have a close look at it, though. Freeze up to that stone that's been sitting there for a while for New Brunswick. And cross your fingers that Charlie Sullivan has to make a play on it, and that does increase the opportunity for a blank in the 8th end if he makes this freeze really, really well. Hard to keep the shooter if you throw something hard to remove the counting stone. I guess you draw up to it, but we'll see what transpires here, how well this